The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting WayFM.
We definitely need a little more of this in the world.
Oh, that's how you do it, kids.
It's the Wally Show.
When I was a kid, all I wanted to do when I grew up was to be a professional athlete. Now, I don't think that God planned on me doing that because I did stop growing at like 11 years old.
Aww.
And my athleticism was halted due to my love for food. But there's this 10-year-old kid named Mark Lane, and his dream is to play baseball someday. But he also suffers from a rare neurological condition, and he actually ends up having around 300 seizures per day. So I can't imagine him going through that, what his parents are going through.
Right.
On a daily basis. But through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, he actually did get to live out that dream when he got to sign this one-day contract with this exhibition baseball team called the Savannah Bananas. You've never heard of this team,
The
right?
Savannah Bananas, no, but I think it would be fun to see them because they're, what do you call it, mascot.
Oh, like their mascot would be like a
Yeah.
big banana?
Yeah, I think it would be fun to see like a big banana running around, the bases and stuff. It sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah. They're like a team. They wear like yellow. It's like a comedy group that sort of blew up over TikTok, and then they play an actual game of baseball, but it's sort of a comedy stick too, where people go and they laugh. There's like a 3-year waiting list to actually go to their games. They're super popular right now. But this kid got to sign a contract with them. They actually held this ceremony where he signed the contract, got to hang out with the players, and then they also gave him a locker in their locker room. So he kind of got the whole experience, got to be a baseball player for himself. And I think if you're a parent, you probably see, them being able to live out that dream at like 10 years old and kind of get a break from all the stuff that he does go through with like his seizures and his health.
And he can just be a kid again.
Absolutely. And kids love baseball. Kids love sports. So for him, it almost is like being a normal kid, but almost like an awesome normal kid because you get to be a pro baseball player.
Right. And two, it just goes to prove that if this is something you want to do, maybe your only option is to make a wish in the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and then you'll make your dream come true.
Absolutely.
Maybe you could be the banana.
Oh, I would love to be a
Hey!
banana. Oh, man. So fitting.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And if you didn't know it, we have this thing called the prayer wall that you can find at wayfm.com or when you text the word pray to 91979. But it's a place where people like us all can come together and pray for one another. And sometimes the requests you read on there are ones you may not hear at a Bible study because they may be a bit personal, but that's what's great about the prayer wall. You can give as much or as little information as you like.
Yeah, like this one was posted recently by Jessica. She says, please pray that my husband will stay sober and that we can forgive each other for everything that has happened. We pray our marriage can make it through these hard times and that we are all together as a family again.
And when you support your Way FM, you're supporting ministry like the prayer wall. So if you have something you'd like prayer for, or maybe you'd like to go on the wall and pray for someone, which we would highly encourage, just text the word pray to 91979. And when you pray for that person, you'll see a box you can click that says, I prayed for this. When you click that person you prayed for, they get a notification letting them know that someone sees them and values them. And we've heard countless times of how people have been encouraged through that. So we just recently sent out a mass text to 90,000 people asking what they could use prayer for. And we now have 1,500 new requests that need prayer.
That's awesome. So if you want to go check it out, it's the prayer wall. When you text pray to 91979, that's pray to 91979.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and believe it or not, our next support drive starts next week. And maybe you didn't even know it, but Way FM is a listener-supported station, meaning it's available to listen to 24/7 because of people like you who value it and give in hopes that it'll give hope through Jesus to people who are struggling in the day-to-day.
Yeah, Lori is a perfect example of how when you partner with your Way FM, you're changing lives.
I struggle with eating disorders. When I listen to the radio and hear the words of the songs, it re-stimulates positive thoughts in my mind. the thought of you not being there, that's what struck me today. I need you to be there, and I'm going to make sure and contribute.
So not only was Lori able to find hope through the music she hears on Way FM, but she's now giving, knowing it's helping her, and she wants it to help others. And with our next support drive just around the corner, giving to your Way FM is an opportunity to share your hope with others, but it takes you getting involved and giving.
And we've made it easy for you when you text GIVE to 91979 or visit wayfm.com. You can do your part in sharing hope with so many people.
That's GIVE to 91979, texting GIVE to 91979, or visiting wayfm.com. It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us, but going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that, but it was so different than I had imagined and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of, but instead I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM.
News can be a little heavy, so we like to do news-ish. Here's Betty.
Because of its popularity, most businesses are trying to utilize artificial intelligence to help grow their base of customers, and that includes supermarket chains. One supermarket thought it would be a good idea to offer AI in their app as a way to help their customers who are more cooking challenged, like me, to come up with meal plans based on the ingredients they already have at home. And while this sounds like a great idea in theory, it quickly took a turn. Customers started using the AI option and plugging in the different foods they have in their fridge or cupboards, but the recipes AI came up with were not what you would call winners. One of the recipes was, quote, Oreo vegetable stir fry.
Okay, see, that sounds like a good way maybe to help a kid who's, veggie shy to eat more.
Yeah, I don't know. And once customers realized the hilarity of it all, of plugging in random items to get crazy food combinations, that's when it went to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
So customers started plugging in items like bleach and ant poison. Yeah, so the app came up with recipes for poisoned bread sandwiches.
What are we doing?
And mosquito repellent roast potatoes.
That is something where I think if you can trust... you can't trust us to not mess around and do something silly like that.
You cannot.
And then what does AI know? It's just going to plug and chug.
Exactly. And when news got back to the grocery store that their app was super popular, but not for what they intended, they stated they were, quote, disappointed.
Oh,
it's like a parent getting on to their kid. But quickly followed that up with another statement stating, quote, the recipes are not reviewed by a human being, and we don't guarantee that any recipe will be a complete or balanced meal or suitable for consumption.
Okay, smart on their part. Good to cover their
tails, for sure. But I think that statement could also be, in truth, told for anything that I make in the kitchen as well.
Betty's
Whoa,
food.
You didn't have to agree so quickly.
No, the best thing you make that one, what is it, the hash brown casserole? Okay. That's amazing.
And no one has died from it yet, so yay! Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show, and I know in my own personal life it feels difficult to share my faith So many people have their heads buried in their phones, and while we live in such a connected world, it feels like a lot of people are disconnected. But that's what I love about Way FM. Partnering with Way FM in giving makes it easy to share your faith. Way FM is a listener-supported station, meaning it's available 24/7 because of people like you who have witnessed how Way FM has changed their own lives.
Yeah, Terry knows that for herself. She's an example of an impact you can have on others when you partner with Way FM.
I had cancer, and I was really upset when I first found out. And there was a lot of praying going on. And on the way home, there was a song that came on the radio, and it was just like God have it. And it was just, that helped me through all of that. And I have no doubt in my mind that the Lord healed me. But Way FM helps me through no matter what. It encourages me that God's there.
So maybe you're like Terry. You've been through something difficult, or you're currently going through something hard, and you're just so thankful for the hope that you've found through the music played here on Way FM, or the encouragement you've gotten from people praying for you on the prayer wall. If so, texting GIVE to 91979 or visiting wayfm.com is where you can go to do your part in keeping this ministry going so people like Terry and you can find the hope needed for each day. With our next support drive just around the corner, giving to your Way FM is an opportunity to share your faith with others. Maybe you've seen the impact Way FM has made in your own life and you want to pay it forward.
You can text GIVE to 91979 or go to wayfm.com.
That's GIVE to 91979 or wayfm.com. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. And if you haven't had a chance to check out our prayer wall, you should. When you head to wayfm.com, you can find it there, or when you text PRAY to 91979. And if you're a supporter of listener-supported Way FM, then you're playing a part in keeping the prayer wall going for people like Allison, who recently posted a request on the prayer wall that I think a lot of moms could empathize with.
Yeah, she said, please pray that I sleep tonight. I've been struggling with anxiety and illness lately. I stay at home with my 4 young children and homeschool them. I've been feeling overwhelmed and not been able to keep up, and I'm so fatigued. Please pray for me to thrive during this phase and to not sink. I think regular good sleep will change everything, but my baby isn't sleeping good lately as well. I totally get that. Like, sleep is one of those things that is just like the foundation of a good day. So for her to not have that, I definitely understand that she needs a ton of prayer here.
Yeah. Allison's request is just one of many that came in recently when we sent out a mass text just this week to over 90,000 listeners of Way FM, asking them what they could use prayer for. And maybe you have a request yourself, or would just like to go on there and pray for people who are struggling like Allison. We would highly encourage that. When you go to the prayer wall, you'll see a little checkbox by each request saying, I prayed for this. And when you click that person who made the request gets a notification letting them know someone sees them and values them. If you support Way FM, hey, thank you for making the prayer wall available.
And if you haven't checked it out yet, you can text the word pray to 91979. That's pray to 91979.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Rock Report with Betty Rock.
In Hawaii, parts of the island of Maui have been destroyed due to deadly wildfires that easily spread thanks to dry conditions, low humidity, and high winds from Hurricane Dora. And sadly, many have lost their lives and others have lost their homes. But some A-list celebrities are pitching in and doing their part to help. One of those being Jason Momoa. He's a Hawaiian native and best known for his role of Aquaman in the DC movies. On his socials, he's been posting links to resource guides and a locator for missing people, which I can't even imagine, you know, needing to have a resource to locate missing people. That's so sad.
Well, and we were watching the news, and apparently, you know, you've got like all these like cell towers that are down, so there's not the easy way to just like try and phone somebody to see where they are. So it's like an absolutely chaotic situation.
Exactly. Oprah, who owns a home in Maui, she surprised everyone by showing up at a shelter.
Oh, that's cool.
And basically asking what she could do to help and where she was needed. And then former professional boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr., he took it upon himself to pay to fly out 68 families affected by the fire and hook them up with food, clothing, and a place to stay.
That's awesome, especially when people like him, I know he makes has made a lot of money in his career, and to use it for that kind of level and to take care of people amid something so tragic is awesome to see on his part.
It really is. And while most of us don't have the kind of money that Oprah or Floyd Mayweather Jr. have to fly out families, we do want to help these people. Convoy of Hope is a trusted place to support, and you can find out how when you go to convoy.org/radio. That's convoy, convoy.org/radio. Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.